Boundaries versus selfishness, the psychology of resisting manipulation. In a world that often equates kindness with compliance, those who set boundaries risk being labeled selfish. But there is a critical distinction between protecting your autonomy and acting against others' interests. Psychologically, becoming harder to manipulate is not a moral failing, it is an act of self-preservation. This article dismantles the confusion between selfishness and resilience, exploring the mechanisms of manipulation, the emotional toll of boundary setting, and why society struggles to tell the two apart. The psychology of manipulation, why selfish is a weapon. Manipulators thrive on exploiting empathy, guilt, and social conditioning. Their tactics, gaslighting, guilt-tripping, love-bombing, or playing the victim, designed to bypass rational judgment and trigger emotional compliance. When someone resists these tactics, manipulators often weaponize the label selfish to reframe accountability. By accusing others of selfishness, manipulators deflect blame for their own unreasonable demands. Exploit guilt. Society rewards selflessness, particularly in women and marginalized groups. Manipulators leverage this to paint boundary setters as morally deficient. Restore control. Labeling someone selfish pressures them to revert to old patterns of people-pleasing. Example, a partner who dismisses your need for alone time by saying, "You don't care about me," isn't highlighting your selfishness, they are pathologizing your boundaries. 2. The trauma of good person conditioning. Many people struggle to assert boundaries because they've internalized the belief that self-sacrifice equals virtue. Psychologists link this to childhood dynamics. Growing up with emotionally immature caregivers teaches children to prioritize others' needs to feel safe. Cultural narratives, religions, media, and societal norms often glorify martyrdom, e.g., love means never saying no. Fear of abandonment. Subconsciously, people equate boundaries with rejection, worrying they'll lose relationships if they stop accommodating others. Result, when someone begins resisting manipulation, they often face intense cognitive dissonance. "Am I becoming a bad person?" is a common refrain, not because they are selfish, but because their nervous system associates compliance with safety. 3. How to spot the difference, selfishness versus self-protection. Selfishness is indifference to others' well-being. It involves exploiting people without remorse, e.g., taking credit for a colleague's work. Self-protection is refusing to be exploited. It involves saying, "I cannot prioritize you at the expense of myself." Psychological markers of healthy boundary setting. Guilt. Feeling temporary guilt is normal when setting boundaries, a sign you're defying old conditioning. Chronic guilt may signal manipulation. Reciprocity. You're open to compromise but reject one-sided demands. Intent. Your goal is mutual respect, not control or punishment. 4. Why manipulators double down. People who rely on manipulation often have traits of narcissism, codependency, or insecure attachment. When their tactics fail, they may escalate. Love withdrawal. "Fine, I guess you don't love me anymore." Victimhood. "After all I've done for you, this is how you treat me." Triangulation. Involving others to shame you, e.g., even your sister thinks you're being unreasonable. Psychological insight. Manipulators aren't always malicious, many are repeating survival strategies they learned in dysfunctional environments. But this doesn't obligate you to tolerate harm. 5. Reclaiming autonomy, the path to emotional sovereignty. Breaking free from manipulation requires rewiring deep-seated beliefs. Name the manipulation, identify tactics like gaslighting or guilt-tripping. Write them down to reduce self-doubt. Tolerate discomfort, accept that others' anger or disappointment is not your responsibility. Seek boundary buddies, surround yourself with people who respect limits, reinforcing that healthy relationships exist. Therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, or dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, can help reframe guilt and assert needs. Key mantra: I am not responsible for others' reactions to my boundaries. Conclusion: the courage to be selfish. Society often conflates self-advocacy with selfishness to maintain systems of control, in families, workplaces, and relationships. But psychology clarifies that refusing to be manipulated is an act of courage, not cruelty. When you stop conflating your worth with your usefulness to others, you reclaim something vital, the right to exist on your own terms. As psychoanalyst Eric Fromm wrote, selfishness is not identical with self-love, but it's very opposite. To resist manipulation is to practice self-love, and that is a radical, necessary rebellion. The next time someone calls you selfish, ask yourself, are they truly harmed, or are they simply unhappy they lost control? The answer will tell you everything.